west of Cord. It's my house here. Cord gets its name for being called cordes-sur-ciel, cord above the sky. At certain times when the temperature conditions get favorable, we're bathed in clouds. And as you can see here, really, the valley is completely obscured this morning. And what we're going to do is walk up to the top and see if we can get above the clouds. In a minute, we'll be at the first original gate of the city limits in 1222, or medieval gates. Now we're entering in what was the fortified parts of the city, or the protected parts. Okay, little history about Cord. Cord was founded in 1222, so about 802 years ago, and founded by Ramon VII, the Count of Toulouse, who succeeded his father, Ramon VI. And it was a bastide, which meant a new town. And these new towns were formed kind of all over the region, and they were basically an attempt at recolonizing the countryside. Now, the countryside had been ravaged by about 11 or 12 years of crusades, and the crusades started in 1209. Primarily, the military leader was Simon de Montfort, a vile, terrible name in this region. It's probably an insult. You call your worst enemy, you call him Simon or Montfort. The crusade was started by the Pope, Innocent III. He called for the crusade because he believed there was a heresy in this region. This region was moving away from the dogma of the Catholic Church in a lot of respects. That was obviously bad for business, for the Pope. So the Pope called for a crusade. There was a little more to it, but he had called for the French nobles in the north and the Germans to come down here and erase the heresy. Now, the heresy, anything they did during this crusade, they were absolved of all sins. So they could steal, they could take, they could murder, they could rape, they could do all these things, and they weren't going to get in trouble for it. So obviously, a lot of crusaders answered the call. Campaigns happened primarily in the summers. Famous story, look it up, the city of Béziers, which was one of the first was kind of a major port city on the Mediterranean. Now it's not much left there. 20,000 inhabitants were locked in the town, inside the walls, and burned alive. And from Béziers came a somewhat ominous phrase of, one of the clergy said, well, how do we know they're all heretics? And another senior person said, well, kill them all, because God will surely know his own. Interesting, right? Tough stuff. So again, some books say this was about a holy war. Some say it was more about a real estate, land grab, money grab. You decide. But in any event, Cord was formed in 1222. And at that time, Ramon VII was loyal, or had fealty to the King of Aragon in Spain. But by 1229, Ramon saw the political moves and fortune shifting. He pledged fealty to Louis IX, I believe, the King of France. And Cord in 1229 passed peacefully from the Kingdom of Spain to the Kingdom of France. So Cord was never taken, never never sacked, mainly because of its location and hill and high walls. And it ultimately in the 1300s, 1400s became quite the hub for commerce here in the southwest of France, especially for farmers, manufacturing, artisans, since it was a convenient horse ride away from both Albi, where the bishop lived, and Gaillac, which was more of a port city on the Tarn River. So, interesting stuff. There's our house with the terrace, and this was kind of this area was the first tranche of cords expansion outside of its main gate. Rue de Barbicane, a famous commercial street, and we are approaching the gate called the Porte de l'Orge. Apologize for my French, it's not the best. Coming through this gate, and you can see the valley, the mist is clearing. And thanks for joining on this special morning. Not many of these in court.